The sinking ship, the sinking ship, the sinking ship. Donald Trump, in the wake of the longest government shutdown and probably the final government shutdown, the shutdown of all shutdowns, the likes of which you've never seen before, Donald Trump received a court order telling him you will use emergency SNAP funding for the American people. You will. You will use this funding. You know what Donald Trump did? He came out and said, no, I'm not. I'm not feeding anyone. You. That's what he said to the court. A judge told him to feed Americans, and that man sat there and said no. And I remember driving up and down my city, seeing all of these billboards and electronic billboards saying, whose presidency was your life better under, Trump or Biden? Because Americans have the memory of like barnyard animals, dude. Like, let's keep it 100. Americans forgot that COVID happened, and COVID had insane economic consequences like inflation that Biden effectively and successfully combated, which he doesn't get any credit for from anyone besides center-left liberals. Donald Trump did all that bullshitting for months. I'm gonna make the eggs cheaper. I'm gonna make them cheaper. The eggs, you need the eggs. You know, you need the eggs. That nigga sat there for months swearing to God he would make everything cheaper. He got in and, of course, made everything more expensive. The tariffs made everything more expensive, as Kamala Harris, as economists all around the world told MAGA it would, and MAGA is still pretending like, you know, the usual shit. Groceries are up in my state. Oh, groceries. These niggas be lying. Type in anything on social media. Donald Trump, literally when given an opportunity to show where he stands, the man he is, his priorities, to show that he actually wants to feed Americans, shut down or not. He could even donate some of his own personal money as a billionaire to Americans to eat. Do you know what Donald Trump did instead? He defied the court order. And now the White House is putting out statements saying, oh no, we're going to feed Americans. We're going to make SNAP payments. We're going to do it. Sure you will. See, these niggas can type anything on social media. They can type anything. So as far as I am concerned, I don't trust it. Let's read from the New York Times. Where things stand. Food stamps. And by the way, the holiday season is here. Thanksgiving is coming, and Donald Trump literally, knowing Americans need to and want to celebrate Thanksgiving with their families with full plates of food and everyone all sitting around and enjoying their food and having a jolly time, Donald Trump knows this and still finds it within himself to withhold food from Americans knowing we're in the holiday season. He's an actual demon. Trump threatened on Tuesday to deny food stamp payments for 42 million Americans until the end of the government shutdown, even though a federal court order last week ordered that fat fuck to continue funding the program. The article don't say that, but it's true. But hours later, Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump's, most honest soldier, said the administration was fully complying with the order. At the same time, a group of cities and nonprofits returned to court to try to force the administration to pay the full benefit, not just half in November. So they don't even want to pay the full benefit. They want to pay half, which is probably a roundabout way of saying we're probably really going to pay none. They're going to pay none. This man is doing this in the holiday season. There's nothing more unpatriotic than fucking up Thanksgiving and Christmas. You cannot get more evil than that. Motherfuckers decorating the whole city, and here you come, withholding food from the most vulnerable Americans because you say so. And conservatives bitch and moan about the elites. We can't stand the elites. You got a bitch nigga who was born with a golden spoon in his mouth, literally taking food off of other people's plates and fattening up his own plate. This man was born rich and finds it within himself to withhold food from average everyday Americans with no regret, no fear, no nothing, no conscience. He literally does not give a fuck. It's unbelievable how evil he is. And his supporters, because of pride, As much as they go on and on about the Bible, it's all pride. His supporters, because of pride, refuse to admit that this man betrayed them. They cannot admit that this man promised them the world and back and instead has delivered hell. And we're just getting started. The nigga only been in office for basically about a year now. It's been about 11 months. And it feels like 11 years. Okay, I feel like I just deployed to Fallujah in 2004. Like, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? We got this nigga. Trump literally has turned America's psyche into a war zone. And you know what he does while we're all confused and angry and attacking each other and going crazy? Throwing parties at Mar-a-Lago with dancers. Women dancers dancing up and down at Mar-a-Lago, and they're eating, I don't know, whatever they eat at Mar-a-Lago, like Play-Doh or whatever. That nigga was charging like $15 million for a plate of bullshit. Y'all remember that? Crazy. They over there eating, Play-Doh and grass at Mar-a-Lago, and the American people who actually have a real taste in food, real honor, real integrity must now starve. 42 million Americans. 42 million. 42 million. And by the way, the emergency funding for SNAP is only like $6 billion or something. SNAP costs like $8 billion a month. Like that's not enough to actually feed Americans who are reliant upon SNAP at all. So Donald Trump knows the money isn't even enough. And instead of compromising, reopening the government, and coming up with a healthcare plan for the American people like the Democrats asked him to, he instead would much rather starve Americans. Because in his mind, he thinks he deserves to have that power. Boy, I'm telling y'all, when all of this is said and done, the president will have basically no power. To fix this nation, the president is basically just going to be a figurehead at this point. Because this nigga ruins everything. Literally everything. His behavior has been so destructive, so damning, so Luciferian, that now the boys' approval rating has dropped to 37%. 37%. As I predicted it would. I told y'all Americans would realize, oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, he is crazy. See, niggas allowed stupid little slogans to, like, make them forget how crazy he was the first time. Whose presidency was your life better under? Trump? That's the type of shit these niggas fall for. Whose presidency was your life better under? Trump or Biden? These niggas actually fall for little stupid ass elementary statements like that. Like, niggas don't even sit there and think, well, why were things cheaper under Trump? Oh, because COVID hadn't hit. Some basic economic reality. And yet people really believed their lives would be better under Trump. At this point, America deserves to get its shit kicked in by Trump. At this point, Trump is probably sent by God to just fuck us up. I really do believe at this point that Trump is a necessity for this nation to grow. America needs to take significant damage from Christian nationalism and all this fuckery to realize the darkness, ignorance, mayhem, and stupidity lying within this nation. Trump's approval rating falls to second term low of 37%. This man had a decline in popularity at 68%, at a rate of 68% of respondents saying things are going badly. I thought y'all were having so much winning. Ooh, boy, y'all niggas was laughing y'all motherfucking asses off. Ooh, boy, y'all niggas was laughing. When Trump won, boy, y'all niggas was screaming, yelling, throwing your hats, going crazy, talking all that shit. The bitch nigga got in office and did everything we told y'all he would do, and now it's, well, actually, this is what we voted for. Yeah, Trump might be able to lie to you, and you might be able to lie to him, but you can't lie to me. Don't lie. Don't lie. The Bible y'all claim to love so much, if you open it up and you read it, it says pride comes before the fall. Admit you were wrong. Just admit. Just give up at this point. The ship is sinking. Donald Trump is at the very top of the ship, doing his little dance, and the rest of you are actually on the floor, on the ship itself, with water slowly but surely rising up. He's so high up on the ship, he couldn't give a shit about y'all. In his mind, he thinks he's safe. You all, on the other hand, are clearly not safe. Wake up. Wake up. Look at this shit. Donald Trump's approval rating has fallen to one of its lowest points, with only 37% of Americans expressing approval of his performance as president. I'm pretty sure this is his lowest ever. I'm pretty sure he's the lowest rated president in American history. The new CNN SSRS survey released on Monday shows a sharp decline in Trump's approval ratings compared with the early days after he began his second term in January, when his approval stood at 47% by mid-February. This man didn't even have half of America's full-on support. Not even a full half. The latest survey, conducted among 1,245 adults from the 27th to the 30th of October, shows a 63% disapproval rating, just a percentage point higher than his lowest mark ever recorded by CNN, which came in the week following the January 6th Capitol Hill riot in 2021. I told y'all, America has an unbelievably embarrassing memory. The American public's memory is pathetic. These niggas have brainwashed themselves into truly believing they were going to have better lives under Donald Trump. This is ridiculous. And the reality is, as Donald Trump makes the nation worse and worse and worse, Trump supporters will begin to stretch their reason for why they really voted for him. Well, we actually voted for him to get rid of crime. Well, we actually voted for him to get rid of the brown people. Well, we actually voted for white nationalism, and we got that, so this is what we voted for. These niggas will do anything but admit they were wrong. Some of these niggas would rather die than actually admit they were wrong. Swear to God, bro. Some of these niggas would really rather log out the game than admit that they fucked up. This is the level of stupidity and just insanity that we're dealing with as a nation. Can't make this shit up. You could not make it up if you tried. So now Donald Trump's approval is going down the tubes. And as it's going down the fucking tubes, his fucking supporters are still like delusionally acting like any of this makes any fucking sense. You have a person, Zohran Mamdani, who actually is proposing an America First policy, and Republicans are still pretending like Zohran Mamdani is going to do 9/11 2.0. We've been here before with Barack Obama. You guys said he was the Antichrist, but in reality, Donald Trump was born on a blood moon, told 33,000 lies as president the first term, tries to establish a golden statue of himself in the Holy Land, constantly breaks the law, the lawless one, despite all the clear signs that this man is definitely not a soldier of God. You all want us to believe you all are a judge of character, and you know Zohran Mamdani is actually plotting a jihadist takeover of America. MAGA, we've been here before. You people really believed Obama was going to ship you off to FEMA camps and put the mark of the beast on your head. Y'all do know that the MAGA hats translate to 666, right? In terms of etymology. Like, you all are literally dancing with the Antichrist, possibly maybe the actual literal Antichrist, and you all don't actually care. All the signs are in front of you, but you'd much rather focus on a black man. I remember when there was a fucking Jesus movie made, and the devil was made to look like Obama. This is the level of psychopathy and insanity and just mental illness on the right. You people are actual natural born NPC pawns. At this point, I'm actually starting to reach a point of admiration for Trump at how easy it is for him to just manipulate y'all and just twist y'all in any direction and lead y'all toward any kind of ruin. He can lead y'all toward a fucking cliff, and all y'all will jump, with no reward waiting for you at the bottom or in the afterlife either. That's the level of cult of personality we are dealing with. Unbelievable. Broke every legitimate real promise he made, and people are still pretending like this is what they voted for. Ridiculous.